Good morning, everybody. This is Tonetta coming to you. I may have to hold this actually, so I can sit back with the. Okay, here we go. With the video of the morning. This I labeled it. I forgot the whole. Asking yourself those hard questions. The reason why I labeled this video with this title is because I know I've gotten asked by several people or several comments and things I've replied to their comments on. Of course, saying how strong I was, or I'm doing a good job by, of course, working through these issues, that kind of thing. Which I do thank you for all that. But for anybody, it's not just me. Anybody can start this journey as well. You just have to start asking yourself those hard questions. The questions that you don't want to answer, you don't want to hear the answer to, and the questions that are, of course, going to make you cry, going to make you upset, going to make you think and reflect about things that's been going on in your life. I mean, anybody can start that journey. It's just there for you to start. I mean, you have to be willing to, of course, trust yourself, trust your instincts, and go ahead and get started. And a good morning, Sandra. Thank you for watching. And I did write down, I don't know how many I wrote down. I'm trying to look because I had to write these down this morning. Okay, I wrote down 10. 10 of those hard questions. Some of these questions I've actually asked myself as well. And I have worked through most of them as well. I guess I put it that way. And just let me say, when I started work, back in the day when I was married, separated from my husband, I don't know what years. I was in my 20s. That's all that I know. Of course, I separated from him for about the next 3.5, almost 4 years. Of course, I was celibate during the whole time, and I call myself working on myself. I put it that way, doing some inner work and that kind of thing. I did do that. I did do that. I can say that because I changed a whole lot since that. Well, since then until now. But like I said, I did start that. I just realized in this year that I had not asked myself the harder questions in a way that I can, of course, create change and create those things that I needed in order to, of course, to farther on my path, in order to, of course, forgive myself, forgive others as well. Because I did do some of that, but I didn't do it, at least to me, the right way, or in a deeper way, I guess I should say, because there's no right way or no right or wrong way, but in a deeper way. But like I said, it took me a while to realize that, and that's why kind of started again this year as far as my journey, my inner work, and those kind of things. Yes, it's very hard. A lot of the videos I try to share with you all as much as I can, as far as what I'm going through, what's going on, that kind of thing. In the past, no, I did not. I didn't share with anybody, actually. I just kept it all in, kept it to myself, and tried to work on whatever I wanted to work on by myself, is what I always thought. But I know that I need people around me and people that I trust that can, of course, assist me on this journey as well. It's not just mine, it's everybody else's as well. But like I said, I wrote down some of those hard questions that I had to ask myself. Some of these I have not been through as far as, but actually, you know what? Let me see something. Because I didn't write down, well, yeah, I think one or two I haven't been through, and I'll probably talk about that as I go through them. But like I said, in order for anybody to start this personal journey, to do the inner work and to try to create some changes, break some barriers within your own life and break some generational curses, you're going to have to start asking yourself those hard questions, no matter how much it may hurt you, no matter how much it may hurt, you may think it may hurt those around you. Because I know when I started, of course, going through this process, of course, you have family, friends, people are like, you went through that, you did that, or why you telling the family secrets, or why this is going on. I don't really give a fuck at this time, to be honest. But like I said, that's me. That's just the kind of person I am. In my mind, I have to work through these things in order to live my life on my own terms. So that's what I've decided to do. And once you get to that point, I'm sure a lot of you, if not all, will get to that point at some time. It may not be right now, which is fine, but you just have to start somewhere. But like I said, once you get to that point, you'll realize that this journey is for you. It's not for everybody to, of course, they can judge you all they want or say things behind your back all you want. That's fine. But you have to realize at some point that your journey is yours, and that in order for you to get through the things you have to get through in life in order to thrive and to grow, that you're going to have to work through these things and not care about what everybody else says about you or how they may feel about you. And that includes family as well, family and spouses and your kids. I put it that way as well. But the first hard question, and of course, I asked myself, as far as settling with the mate or a job. Because, of course, I've settled with jobs. I'm sure a lot of us have, I'm sure. I'm not the only one who settled with a job or with a mate, actually. But like I said, that's a hard question you have to ask yourself is, why am I doing those things? Why am I just sitting at this job, not getting anywhere, not learning anything. I've been here 5, 10 years, 15, 20 years, and it's not anything that I want to do. I'm unhappy. And how can I make myself happy? I guess I put it that way. Like I said, at some point you have to kind of reflect on those things. Well, everybody doesn't have to, but like I said, in my journey, that's what I had to do in order to start creating some kind of happiness in my life, whether it's with the job and with the mate. And I don't know if anything else that's really everybody settles on, but those are the main things that I've learned in my in my process and in talking to others and stuff like that. Those are the main two things that creates unhappiness in a lot of people's lives. Settling with the mate, like I said, I have done that. I haven't done it to the extent of some other people may have, but I have done that as well. I can say that settling with somebody, whether it's your husband, your boyfriend, or just whoever it is. And actually, it doesn't even really have to be a mate. It can be somebody in your family that you just keep putting up with stuff with, somebody that's lying to you all the time, or somebody that's not being truthful, somebody that's hurting your feelings all the time. Like I said, you have to learn how to stand up for yourself and realize that you are worth it as a person to, of course, have something better in your life. At some point, if you don't realize it, then I guess that's something that you just have to learn how to deal with. But at some point, if you really want to be happy, because my main thing is happiness, I have to be happy no matter what the hell I'm doing. So I'm learning that about myself. But like I said, as far as settling with anybody, you have to learn where your happiness is and where it's going to start and how much you're worth in that relationship. So like I said, that's the first one. And the next one is keeping up with the Joneses. Now that I've never really done, but I know people, of course, family, friends, people I work with or worked with in the past, of course, people I see on social media. Of course, I got these new shoes, I got this new hair, or I got this new car, I got this new whatever it is, cell phone, trying to keep up with the Joneses and keep up with whatever the trends are when they can't even take care of their own goddamn households, as far as paying the bills, making sure the bills are paid, living with their mama, trying to wear all these Jordans, wear all these clothes, all those kind of things. Like I said, at some point you have to realize that keeping up with the Joneses is not where it's at. You have a responsibility to yourself, of course. Well, you should have a responsibility to yourself, of course, for one, to, of course, not to realize that all those materialistic things will really get you nowhere. I mean, you're making everybody else rich for one, but I mean, as far as making yourself rich and whole, that you're not doing. Like I said, keeping up with the Joneses is just the outer appearance. And this can actually be not just with shoes and clothes and weaves and new hairstyles. This can also be with marriage as well. Some people get into marriages just because their cousin did it, or just because their mother said, oh, he would look good on you, girl, he got a good job, blah, blah. Like I said, you can't keep up with all those things. If you're not happy with those things, especially when it comes to the marriage, you just want to just please everybody else around you, that's not where it's at, trust me, because you will not be happy in that relationship. But like I said, as far as keeping up with the Joneses, you have to make sure that your household that's the foundation. Your household and yourself is your foundation. You have to make sure that those things are up and running properly before you can keep up with anybody. Like I said, I've seen this a lot from a kid on up to now. I'm not trying to put anybody down or anything like that, but at some point you have to prioritize what's right. Or, I mean, not what's right, but what's your priority in your life. If your priority, of course, is trying to keep up with the Joneses just so everybody can say, oh, you look good, or oh, you this or you that, that's fine. But like I said, you won't be as happy as you could be if you tell yourself that you're happy and try to keep up with your own self and learn your own self instead of having and getting the praises from everybody around you just because you have a nice hairdo or just because you have a nice car. It's 2019 because it's 18 or whatever the case may be. Like I said, you have to get your foundation in order first. And I've learned that along my journey as far as getting your foundation in order. And like I said, that's one thing that I've always made sure was there as far as the foundation. Whether it's my apartment, my house was always, that's the first, that always came first. And I know that's me. I know everybody does not have that same mindset. But like I said, that has always been me because I've seen and lived with my parents and other people that did not have their foundation in order first, and the whole household was just falling apart. So like I said, I've learned that. I saw what not to do in a lot of these things that I'm telling you all. So like I said, I know that in my mind, I knew that. I've always known that, actually. Why, how, I'm not sure, but I've just always known that your foundation comes first. If your foundation is not right, meaning that your yourself for one, and then your household for two, and that means nothing else is going to fall in place like you want it. And like I said, that was number 2. And number 3, self-medicating and drugs and alcohol, things like that. You have to ask yourself, why am I using? Well, I know there are addictions and things like that as well, but when somebody first start using drugs, alcohol, and becomes a problem, I put it that way, because some people can function using drugs and still go to work and do all these things and whatever. But for those who it does create a problem, alcoholism, you're of course strung out on whatever drugs, heroin, crack, wherever the drug may be. You, at some point, if you really want to, nobody around you can tell you need. Well, they can always tell you that you need to stop using drugs. You can stop doing this because it's hurting your family. It's doing this. It's doing that. But if you won't stop until you realize that it's a problem that you have. You have to ask yourself those hard questions. Why am I using these drugs? Why am I using this alcohol? Like I said, I've known many who have, and some who, of course, who have gotten clean, those kind of things. But for those who haven't, of course, I know they still have deep-seated rooted issues that they have not worked on. Not saying that all drug and alcohol uses, some people do just jump into it for whatever reason. And it's usually just to keep up, be up, and beat, and just follow those people around you. From what I've seen, I cannot say it's for everybody that has used drugs and alcohol in the whole world, but this is just my journey and my story and how I've seen things. For those who have used drugs and alcohol, is usually they're trying to hide some kind of deep-rooted issue, whether that's sexual abuse, their inadequacies, their insecurities. They want to follow everybody instead of being the leader in their own group. Those are the things that I've seen, like I said, along my path as far as why some of those people have used drugs or alcohol. Actually, most of them use drugs or alcohol just to self-medicate. Some of them may have, a few may have had mental illnesses, of course, hearing voices or whichever the case may be, and they did self-medicate because they were so scared and fearful of going to get the mental health assistance that they needed. Because I guess people said they were crazy or whatever the case may be. But like I said, in order for you to create that happiness in your life and to become a whole person, you are going to have to ask yourself, why am I using these substances? Why am I trying to hide behind this? Usually it's for me, and from what I've seen, I've never used drugs or alcohol myself, but from those I have seen it in, like I said, I've known that and have seen that since I was young, that they're usually trying to hide whatever's going on in their life. I guess I'd say that. Like I said, it could be a sexual abuse that happened in the past, or those insecurities, feeling inadequate, not feeling like they're the man or woman that they should be. Like I said, that's just what I've seen. And in order for you to start working on that journey, working on that path, no matter what anybody tells you to stop using drugs, to stop doing all these things, this shit won't work. I mean, you have to know within yourself that you want to change those things. It's not just because your cousin. In some cases, it may be because your cousin or somebody told you to stop using drugs because you lost your house. Most of the time, that stuff does not work. Interventions do not work at all. I know that. I've always known that. Like I said, those people have to realize within themselves that they want to create that change at all. Stop using those drugs and stop drinking the alcohol and face the demons and the issues that actually brought them to that point. And I didn't even say good morning. Good morning, Sandra. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for watching as well. And I know you're going to win that award as well. Thank you, Erica and DJ. Thank you all for watching. And hugs to you as well. The next one, I put down eating disorder, but I don't know if I should, because the people that I've known, and I haven't had any eating disorders myself, but when I put that down, I was talking about those who I've known and who I've seen who eat emotionally, who of course are depressed, or things are happening in their lives, or things are going on, and they choose, I guess, food, of course, instead of drugs and stuff like that, to, of course, emotionally eat. And I have a DSM-4, I have read about it, I know it is a mental illness in some aspect, but usually, of course, from what I've seen and from what I've known, people to go through. I'm a social worker as well, so I've seen some of these things in clients as well. And everything that's on this list I've seen, most of all the clients that I've had. But like I said, as far as the emotional eating, this is not a rant, DJ. This is my morning thoughts. I'm actually talking about asking yourself those hard questions in order to start working on your journey, working on your path, and trying to create a better version of yourself and to create happiness in your life. So that's where this is coming from this morning. It was on my mind to actually talk about, because I know I've been people have been asking those questions, of course, I'm strong this, I'm strong that, and they're glad I'm going through this process. Of course, it's helping them and that kind of thing. But I just want to make this video to at least give 10 things to let people know that those are some ways that you can start, of course, working on your path. It's not just me to just want to do this because I'm doing it. Make sure that you start your own journey is why I'm doing this video. Like I said, it is a hard process. You will cry your way through this, I'm sure. You will, of course, hurt your way through this. But, of course, if you want to create that a better version of yourself and to create happiness in your life, then that's like I said, that's a great way for you to start. And asking those hard questions that everybody wants to push to the side and push out and not think about, that's where your journey will start. And that's where your breakthroughs start. So like I said, I know that, and that's one thing I'm trying to, of course, share this morning with people, DJ. So thank you, and good morning as well. I forgot where I was. I think I was on emotional eating. But like I said, that is another thing that I've seen people use to cover up different things that has happened in their lives, as far as, especially when it comes to women and sexual abuse. Sometimes that is one of the ways that women have done that, I guess I put it that way. Or I have seen that happen, I guess I put it that way. The next thing, because I know I got to hurry up, the next thing is gossiping and bullying others and putting others down. Because I know people who have done that, of course. I've been bullied and that kind of thing as well. But at some point you have to ask yourself, why am I doing those things? A lot of people, of course, the ones who do bully, the ones who do gossip a lot, usually from what I've seen, they usually feel very bad about themselves, and that's the reason why they do those things. They feel inadequate themselves, but they want to put everybody else down just to make themselves feel good. I guess at that point, it may make you feel good, but like I said, going on throughout life, you won't be happy doing that. I guess I put it that way. You'll make a lot of enemies as well. People won't like you and those kind of things, and nobody wants to be around somebody who's constantly, of course, gossiping about them, putting others down. That's all they do is talk about everybody else instead of talking about themselves and what can make themselves feel good and be happy. So like I said, that is another question that you can ask yourself to start your journey if you're out there doing those kind of things. And a lot I've seen, because like I said, being a social worker, I've seen a lot of people, number 6, play the victim role. Yes, we all get into the victim role at some point, because I know I have as well. Everybody's doing this to me, and I'm not taking responsibility for my own actions and what's going on in my own life and blaming everybody else for it, because I have done that at certain points in my life as well. But I had to realize that it's not those people making me do anything, whether it's me, I don't know, getting angry because of something somebody said or whatever the case may be. That's all within me. I've learned that. And like I said, in order for anybody else to, of course, start this journey and to start somewhere, that is one, and especially if that's you, want to say that everybody's doing something to you instead of taking your own responsibility for your own actions and the way your own life has turned out. That is a great way you can start asking yourself this question, actually. Like I said, for a lot of us have had this similar thing in our life and maybe going through that right now. But like I said, that is another great question to ask yourself in order to get started. And let me say, because I love to write. So when you're asking yourself these questions, I wouldn't just say just ask them in your head, that kind of thing. I would say actually write it down somewhere. Write down, of course, why am I playing the victim role? What does this serve in my life? Write that down. Just start writing. Just write down your thoughts. It doesn't have to be a perfect sentence or a perfect paragraph at all. Just whatever kind of thoughts come to your mind as far as why you've played this role or why you've put yourself into this role and how the hell you're going to get yourself out of this role. I guess I put it that way. And the next one, number 7, I put hiding behind racism and discrimination. I was mainly focusing on the racism part, but when I wrote this, I actually wrote all this morning. But as far as the racism, because I know lately with our new change in offices and stuff like that, and people are saying, which I see it too, that of course people are more racist than ever and all these kind of things. I don't think people are more racist than ever at all. Honestly, racism and discrimination or whatever kind of nation that I guess that you want to call it has always been around. With social media and things that we have that's like right at our disposal, yes, you're going to see that often, just like you're going to see bullying often, because people are recording these things and stuff like that is going on. I mean, like I said, you have to ask yourself, for those who do, who are racist or whichever the case may be, whether they don't like black folks or, I don't know, gays, whoever it is, you have to ask yourself those questions. Why don't I like those people? Most of the time it is fear. From what I've seen, I haven't talked to, well, I've been called niggers and stuff like that, but I haven't actually asked them why they call me that. But the one I did ask, I never got an answer to. I put it that way. He just walked away. I'm like, okay, ain't this a bitch? You didn't answer my question. But I figured he wouldn't answer me, which is fine. But like I said, I went to school with this guy. He was actually in my dorm. He was actually in the same school I was in at St. Louis University, going to the School of Social Work. He was a white guy, of course, here from Bourbon, Missouri. Bourbon, Missouri is actually right outside. Let me see. It's right outside. It's maybe like an hour and a half down Highway 44. And of course, he was letting me know. We had dinner one night. I think it was dinner or something one night. He was letting me know that, of course, he has family members who are Klan members and that kind of thing. And of course, we got to talking about it, which I don't mind talking to people about stuff like that. We have to talk through things in order to work through these issues. And he was just letting me know that, of course, they've kind of outcast him because he doesn't. He loves all people. He doesn't discriminate against anybody, and he's not racist against anybody. So, of course, in going through all that, talking to him, the same conclusion I came to, of course, is just fear of the other race or fear of the other sex. I guess if you don't like gay people or whatever the case may be, it's just your fear of the unknown. Most of the time, those people, from what he said as well, feel inadequate, like they don't have any power, so they want to make everybody else powerless. Like I said, that's one thing that I've learned, I've figured out, I guess, of course, as well. So like I said, some people hide behind racism because they feel inadequate, which is fine if they want to do that. But like I said, at some point, somebody's going to call you on that, and you better have an answer. Because I know I've listened to, it was some guy, I don't know what the hell his name was. Shoot, it's some guy that's been going around doing these talks at different college campuses, and some college campuses have, of course, banned him from coming. I don't know what his name is. I have to find it. But he's talking about racism and how we need to make America great again and all these kind of things. Which, that's fine if you want to go talk about that. But like I said, what I've seen his interviews, like on Roland Martin's show, because Roland Martin did have him on there one time. I think that was last year. This man cannot give him full answers for anything. So like I said, if you're going to be racist, I don't give a fuck what you do. You can hate me all you want. I hate gays all you want. Please make sure that you have a reason to do that. Instead of just saying because it's what I was told and all this kind of stuff. Make sure that you have your own reason, not nobody else's reason. That's the only thing I can say about that one. I know number 8, I talked about hiding behind anger at first. When I talked about, I think, playing the victim role, I think. But I used to hide behind anger a lot, actually. That's why I wrote this one down. No, it was actually something. Yeah, it was talking about the victim role, blaming others for your issues or blaming others for making you upset, those kind of things. Because that was one thing that I wrote that down, which I know is about the same thing as the other one, but I just want to talk about that as well because I've noticed that along my journey as well. As far as me saying that everybody's making me upset and this is going on, and instead of me taking my own responsibility for my own actions and my own emotions and feelings. So like I said, I know we can definitely hide behind that anger. Instead of showing love, we show anger instead, which is easier for us to do. But like I said, love is where it's at. So for those out there who are having anger issues, you can let me know. Because like I said, I've been through it all as far as anger goes. Went to anger management. It didn't work. I know why it didn't work. Because I didn't want it to work. I wasn't ready to make it work. That was back in my 20s, actually. I was still stuck on everybody's making me mad. Everybody's doing this to me instead of me standing up for myself and saying that I'm the one who's creating these issues. And I'm the one that's upset. And I'm the one that's angry because of it made me feel like I was being bullied back in grade school or whatever the anger was coming from. We have to sit down. Well, I had to sit down and write those things out where my anger was coming from. And where I kept putting it on everybody else that they were making me angry, which they were not. And it was all within me. So like I said, everything that I'm talking about is within you. You have to realize that nobody can make you do anything unless you want to do it. So like I said, all these things are within you. And the next one, number 9, is why do I act? Okay, this is, you have to ask yourself as far as on your journey, as far as, I talked about this in another video as far as owning your voice, owning your truth, and not apologizing for who you are and what kind of person that you are. And this number 9 is talking about why do you act one way at home in front of your friends, in front of your family. Then when you go out with your friends, you're acting a totally different way. Because I've done that as well. Usually that comes from trying to put on, I guess, several masks and trying to make sure people, I'm trying to put on the front like people this, in I guess at work or your friends to know that you're a good person, you're an angel, you're this, you're that. Oh, you don't curse or you don't do this, you don't do that. But when you get home to your family, you're drinking, you're doing drugs, you're hollering, yelling at everybody, you're beating your wife, all these kind of things going on. Like I said, you have to ask yourself those questions. Why am I trying to hide behind all these masks? And why am I trying to show everybody the real me? And why these folks over here think one way about me and these folks over here think another way about me? Like I said, you have to at some point ask those questions, because at some point the truth is going to come out. They're going to know that, or they're going to realize that you're not the person that you present and that you, that you present to everybody. So like I said, in order for you to work through your journey and to go on your path, you have to ask yourself that hard question as well. I know it's hard because, like I said, I have been there and I have done that a lot of times, actually. So I know how that, I know how, I guess, how that question is going to feel when you start writing that one out. I guess I put it that way. So like I said, you do have to realize at some point that all the fronts that you put on, all the masks that you put on, they will be discovered at some point. It may not be known to you at that time, but I'm sure others will catch on because of the things that you're doing, you're saying. It's just not adding up. So like I said, you have to make sure that you own your voice, own your truth, and know how to tell your story. I guess I put it that way. And know that anything that goes on within you that you're facing, the person that you are, you have to love that person. Like I said, nobody else will love you the way that you can love yourself. I know that now. I had to go through that as well. So like I said, I know that now. But in order for you to, of course, work through those things and become the real you, yes, this one's going to really hurt. I can tell you that. But like I said, in order for you to get to that point where you can not apologize for being yourself, not apologize for being gay or whichever the case may be, you have to present yourself, love yourself, and know yourself enough that you're going to stand behind yourself 100%. So like I said, you have to, at some point, those truths are going to come out anyway. So you might as well make them come out on your own is how I look at that one. And the last thing that I have to talk about, I know there's more, but like I said, these are the 10 things I wrote down this morning when I was getting ready for work. Is how the last thing is having the wrong intentions behind your actions and thoughts. Because I've had that as well, of course. And I've been through that as well. So I can tell you that's not an easy thing to go through either. But like I said, I know there's a lot, with myself and others included. We always say that, of course, we have the best intentions for this, the best intentions for that. And some of those intentions, of course, malicious intentions, because you want to look good for your friends or family because you donated money to them, or you helped somebody with the bill, or whatever the case may be, or you want to tell somebody the truth and it was very mean and hurt somebody else's feelings, I put it that way. So instead of coming from, telling people things and doing things because of love, you're doing them out of hate and just want to make yourself feel good. I put it that way. Instead of coming from a loving standpoint. So like I said, I had to face this on my journey as well, because some of the things, yes, I thought I was telling the truth. And yes, it was the truth. I put it that way, but it wasn't coming from a place of love. It was coming from a place of wanting myself to look good and wanting myself to be like, oh, I told her that and she should know this and that, blah, blah, which like I said, I know that now because I have done that a lot. I guess I'd say that. I know that now. I wrote about it. And I'm still working through that because I know I sometimes still say that, oh, they should know this or they should know that, and without understanding that I had to get to this point as well. I didn't just know everything all of a sudden. So anybody else, they would have to work through these issues and learn themselves as well, just same way I've learned myself. So like I said, the best way to come off to someone, the best intentions that you can have is an intent, I guess, the thoughts and feelings behind the intentions that you can have. The best thing to come with is love. So like I said, I know that now. Instead of coming with hate and coming with just your ego trying to make yourself look good and in front of others and all those kind of things, you have to come from a standpoint of love, no matter what you're doing, no matter what the intention is behind what you're doing. And I've been done wrong and those kind of things, and I know that now, and I've done wrong as well. So like I said, the best way to come to anybody, whether you're helping somebody, especially with helping somebody, please come with the best intentions, and please come from a standpoint of love, because like I said, that can very, very much so damage somebody along the way. I guess I can say that. Especially if you're not being truthful, you don't know who you are. You're coming to them from a standpoint of that I'm just going to do all this stuff just to make myself look good or give myself more business or create more business or to just have others say, oh, girl, you're doing a good job. That's not where it's at all, because you're damaging people along the way, and that's not what we want to continue on doing. So like I said, these are 10 things that I've noticed along my journey that has been helping me as far as working through my issues and the videos that I've been making as far as what I've been going through and those kind of things. So like I said, I definitely appreciate you all saying how strong I am and those kind of things as well. But everybody can do this journey. You just have to, I guess, take it you just have to realize within yourself that you're wanting something different. You want to be happy and that you're worth it. That's all that I've come to realize. You have to realize that you're worth it, for one, that you love yourself, for two, and that you can do anything if you put your mind to it. So like I said, these are just 10 ways that you can start your journey. You don't have to start with all these 10 ways. You just take one by one. And there are, of course, hundreds of others, I'm sure. But these are just the main things that I've seen in my life and in other people's lives that I've either worked with or known in family, friends, that kind of thing, that can really start you on a good path to loving yourself, knowing yourself, and becoming happier than what you are at this point. I'll put it that way. So I hope you all enjoyed the video. I just want to thank you all, because I know I can ramble on forever sometimes, but I just want to thank Sandra, Kevin, Erica, DJ. I want to thank you all for tuning in this morning. And for all those who catch the replay, if you have any thoughts, comments, anything that you've noticed along your journey that I didn't talk about that you'd like to share, please do so. Don't be afraid to do so. Just let me know. And we can always talk it out, that kind of thing as well, because I can learn from you as well, not just you learning from me. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. And like I said, everybody have a blessed day. And always come to others with love. And I love you all for tuning in as well. And for those who watch the replay, I love you all as well. And like I said, have a blessed day.